Hello, thank you so much for watching the second installment of my abbreviated countdown to the 89th Annual Academy Awards. In this video, I'm looking at Best Original Screenplay. The first nominee is Mike Mills for 20th Century Women. The script that he brings to this film is very layered, and it has great characters and not much in the way of a traditional narrative story, but this script is incredible for how it incorporates such varied characters and refuses to put any of them into stereotypes. When I was first watching it, the narration threw me off a little bit. Narration is often a lazy technique to get a point across as opposed to actually showing us through how characters interact with each other, but the narration here makes a lot of sense because of the type of film it is, because it is about how people influence each other. Then there's Taylor Sheridan for Hell or High Water. Now, if you watched my supporting actor video, you would know that I was not a huge fan of Hell or High Water, and a lot of that had to do with the script. Long story short, I had the same problem with this as I did with Sicario, another film written by Taylor Sheridan. And that movie was directed by Denis Villeneuve and led by Emily Blunt. With Sheridan, I feel like he knows that certain story beats come into play at certain points, obviously, and then he just kind of follows story beats. I'm gonna get eviscerated for that one, I know. I don't think it's a great script. Moving down the lineup, we have Damien Chazelle's script for La La Land. Screenplays for musicals are often regarded as lesser than screenplays for non-musicals because song and dance numbers help carry a large portion of the story. And I'm not saying that that's the way it should be, but that's oftentimes the way it is. In fact, going into the season, even when La La Land was picking up steam, a lot of people, including myself, doubted that it would be a formidable original screenplay contender. But the thing is, this movie does have a really great script. It takes this obsession with craft that you see in Ryan Gosling's Sebastian and marries it to the dreams and aspirations, sort of a hopeless romantic, of Emma Stone's Mia. Another really cool thing about this script is that it takes these tropes and these expectations that you have for this movie because it very much resembles an old school Hollywood musical and turns them on its head while also indulging in the whimsy of it all. Then there is the screenplay for The Lobster, which was written by Yorgos Lanthimos and Eftimis Philippou. This movie was an early year contender that got really great reviews, mostly because of its incredibly dry script. And this movie is not dry without a purpose. This movie is really about how we connect with other people and how that sometimes does not go very well because we're focused on the wrong things. And also about how it can be really silly to categorize people based on things that don't really say anything about them. Or rather, say something about them that does not fully entail who they are. Wait, give me a second, my nose is bleeding. Anybody else have that problem? Rounding out the top 5 is Kenneth Lonergan's Manchester by the Sea. Now, the writer-director made a film that is very much about grief and how we deal with loss. The only loss I felt was 2 hours and 15 minutes of my life. But a lot of people are saying this is a masterpiece. I have been meaning to give the movie a second shot, but I've been putting it off because I'm really not looking forward to it. So that's all I've got to say about Manchester by the Sea at present. So looking at my personal favorites, I really like 20th Century Women, La La Land, and The Lobster. I think they all have great scripts for very different reasons. 20th Century Women is a snapshot of a very particular period in time that gets really great glimpses into characters' personalities and how they interact with each other. La La Land, because it takes so many disparate elements of how we feel about our careers, how we feel about the people around us, how we view the arts, and how we appreciate them, and takes it and puts it all into this awesome package of song and dance numbers. And you have some great highs here and some great lows as well. This movie is always going somewhere you do not expect it to. And The Lobster for being incredibly entertaining while also being one of the driest things I have ever seen. So who wins? Original screenplay has been all over the place this season. The Lobster took the Los Angeles Film Critics Association Prize for Best Screenplay, adapted or original. They don't have a distinction. And that's probably what helped to get the nomination here. I can't see it really going for the win. You've also got Hell or High Water, which seems to be a movie that has enough passion to get nominations in a couple key places, but not enough love to actually win anywhere. 20th Century Women should really be in consideration for this, but the movie did not really take off with the precursors as a lot of us wanted it to, because it was released so late in the game. And I'm not even sure that 20th Century Women would have had a shot at the win here if Annette Bening had been nominated. And that is an Oscar omission that still hurts. So that leaves La La Land and Manchester by the Sea. The latter looked like a Best Picture frontrunner for quite a while. It got great reviews at Sundance, and it was pretty much, if I'm remembering correctly, the presumed Best Picture frontrunner before La La Land took the season by storm. But that's what La La Land did. And it is poised to win a slew of Oscars, along with Titanic and All About Eve. It is the most nominated film in the history of the Motion Picture Academy. And of course, both of those films took Best Picture in their respective years. I'm having a really difficult time choosing between these because Manchester by the Sea is, if you're looking at it on paper, more of a writer's movie than La La Land is, and La La Land is a musical. Now, La La Land did win the Golden Globe for Best Screenplay, and its screenplay has been widely praised overall. So the musical factor seems to have been a non-factor. I'm going to wrestle with this one all the way until Oscar night, but I guess officially speaking, I am going to call it for La La Land. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, hit that like button if you like this video, and of course subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content from me. I have my social media links to the left on the screen. Thanks again, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!